Welcome back in, Bears fans. We are back and we're better than ever. It is Wednesday, April the 30th. I'm Brandon, and it's time for Bears Latest. Let's jump right in. Let's talk winners and losers from the draft. We kind of talked about who's on the hot seat, so I guess it seems like it might be mildly redundant, but I want to talk about current players that are on this roster that are either benefiting from what may not have happened for a position of need in the draft to players who surprisingly are, almost to the point where they're going to be on the outside looking in. And so I just want to go into that just a little bit because the benefit that we have as we prepare for rookie minicamp, OTAs, is that we can spend these next days ahead together breaking down and learning more about these players and seeing maybe a little bit more about the vision and the direction of the Bears here, of both the defensive and the offensive side of the ball. So before we jump in, I just want to say thank you for supporting us so far. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Please hit the like, subscribe. Always feel free to drop a comment below. Let's build an amazing, enthusiastic community here. Nothing better than getting Bears fans together and talking about the greatest team in the NFL, bar none. So, winners and losers. I only have two winners right here that really stuck out to me. I think number one, Caleb Williams. How could you deny Caleb? I mean, they are setting this guy up for success. Continuing to build with weapons for him to take advantage of. I mean, he's going to have another security blanket out there in Colston Loveland with him and Cole Kmet there. I mean, there's a lot of really good opportunity, especially in 12 personnel formation. I think he's going to, especially if he's feeling the heat, if the line is breaking down. He's going to have some good tight ends to throw to if it's starting to get hot there and he's feeling that heat. Plus, I mean, look at all the upgrades that are being made to the line. This O line has been completely revamped, revitalized in one off season. The interior of this line, which was abysmal, has greatly improved. And yeah, you can talk about, well, we didn't get a left tackle in the draft. We didn't. You still got a left tackle in Braxton Jones. Yes, he's coming back from an injury, but you know what? This dude has produced since day one, folks. He's still a starter. And he's gotten better every year. And now that he's got an O-line coach that knows what the hell he's doing in there, they're going to be able to build off of that, and he's going to be able to cement himself further. And if he doesn't, there's a possibility that they might shake and shuffle up the line, and maybe Darnell Wright ends up going over there. And we'll talk about Darnell in just a little bit. You know, you've got Ozzie Trapillo there too. You've got Luke Newman. You're building depth on that line. And in year two, this is put up or shut up for Caleb. Plain and simple. You're getting set up to succeed. All you need to do is learn and listen and build chemistry with Ben Johnson. I want it to be something along the lines of like what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have together, or what Ben Johnson had with Jared Goff up in Detroit, where you have this tandem here that just is gelling. And I cannot wait to see that actually happen, because I feel like we've never had we haven't had anything like that before. And if you even say Mitch Trubisky and Matt Nagy, that one season, no, go away. Not, yeah, I can't even find the words, because that just throws me off. This would be amazing if we can build that here in Chicago. So Caleb, right off the bat, number one winner from this draft. I think my second one, Roshan Johnson. We didn't address the running back position until the last round when we got Kyle Monangai from Rutgers. And I think that Monangai is a great addition. I think he's a sleeper. I think he has starting potential. But he's going to have to earn that. I mean, the going from the college level to the NFL to the pros, there is going to be a learning curve there. And somebody that's a seventh round pick may have to deal with those growing pains. But Roshan Johnson, when we drafted him, he was the backup to Bijan Robinson at Texas and had the same type of explosiveness. When I would watch him play, he had that same explosiveness, a nice change of pace back, had less wear on him compared to Robinson. And it should have worked out better to start off his career here in Chicago. And there were moments where he flashed that on the field. I can think of games back in 2023 where he had moments where he had glimpses of being able to show that. But then as the offense turned over, the scheme and everything changed. The Shane Waldron debacle to Thomas Brown debacle. He wasn't set up to succeed. But now you're bringing in Eric Bieniemy as your running backs coach. You've got Roshar coaching the line, the O line, and everything that's going to help set up and block and open up lanes for guys like Roshan. So I feel like he is winning because he doesn't have as much competition in front of him for the moment, barring a free agent signing, which if you've been plugged in on that, there's a couple of free agent options out there with Bears rumors or potential Bears ties. So we'll have to see on that. But for right now, Roshan has every opportunity to go in there and carve out a role and get on the field more than what he did last season. My losers, I've got three of them, and one that sticks out that didn't dawn on me until I was thinking about it at work today, and that's because he was pretty much non-existent and has been non-existent on the field since he came into the league. That's Zach Pickens from South Carolina. Pickens has just he has stats that make it look like he's only played for, you know, just a couple of games. I mean, I think he had a sack and a half so far in his career, and that's just not cutting it. You look at the guys that we have on the defensive line. We've got the guy out of Texas A&M now, Turner. You've got Gervon Dexter Sr. You've got Andrew Billings. You've obviously got free agent signing Grady Jarrett. We already have a lot of guys that are ahead in the pecking order, and yes, I'm putting Turner ahead of Zach Pickens. I think that it's a different player. It's going to fit Dennis Allen's scheme, and I don't know if he fits Allen's scheme. He's going to have to show up because what I've seen so far, it's not amounting to anything really. And we got him in the third round. The same year that we got Gervon Dexter. And I just look at this and it's just a head scratcher. Like, why hasn't he done anything yet? And it just hasn't had the opportunity. I know he's sat out and hadn't dressed for some games. I mean, it's just looking more and more like a foregone conclusion that this is going to be he's becoming more of a camp body to help preserve other players that will have a place on this roster. And feel bad because I'm totally being harsh on Zach Pickens, but in this league, if you're coming in, especially if you are a day one or day two pick, in my mind, you are being groomed for if you're not a starter your first year, you're being groomed for one for sure in that second, no later than that third year. That's what it's all about because there's immediate starting, but then there's also being able to be coached and learn and train and develop. And I haven't really seen that with him. So good luck. Karan Amagaji. A lot of people are still high on Karan because there's a lot of untapped talent there. He has has a high IQ, good motor. He's been learning the position in less time than what other players have. So he's still grasping the concepts and the position. And unfortunately, he got thrusted into playing time last year when he wasn't ready, because his first year, his rookie season, was supposed to be more of like a pseudo redshirt type of season where he was just going to learn uh, from, as a backup to Braxton Jones and such. But when Braxton Jones got hurt and he was out for the remainder of the season, Amagaji had no choice but to jump in, and he got pummeled on. There were some moments where he showed some flashes, but it was a very tall order for him in his rookie season. Then you look at what we did with our offensive line upgrades, with our drafting. You bring in Ozzy Trapillo, you bring in Luke Newman, and there's these guys. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be eager, and I think the way that I look at these picks, these have Ben Johnson and Dan Roshar written all over them. They are going to be looking to do or to have a power running game, especially running 12 personnel and such. It's got the makings of that. So it's really hard for me to see Karan um, have a role unless he can become like a swing tackle. Maybe he can be able to kick in at times, especially if we want to make sure we're preserving a guy like Joe Tooney, which I highly doubt he'll really be coming in to relieve Tooney. But, there may come that need if something does happen. So he may end up coming into some sort of swing role. But yeah, I again wish you luck, man, because the O-line got much, much better this offseason. We're going to stick with the O-line for my last one here. Ryan Bates. Ryan Bates. Ryan Bates was we've been trying to get Ryan on board when we signed him to an offer sheet a couple years ago. Got matched by the Bills, so he didn't come to the Bears in 2023. But then you look at 2024, we were able to get him in a trade with the Bills, brought him over. He showed flashes in training camp and looked pretty good, but I think Ryan dealt with a lot of injuries throughout the season, and he had a hard time staying on the field, and that really hurt him. And I think with the new additions that we've already spoke about, he's going to have a heck of a time. Plus, that can save us if we were to cut him too, which we talked about in a previous video, talking about the money that can be saved there. I mean, I can see him being on the chopping block. So he needs to come in ready to learn, ready to develop, to meet the needs of this offense and how it's going to run. So better get at it, Batesy. And with that, I do have one more. It's an incomplete, and that's with Darnell Wright. Really hitting the O-line hard today. The reason why I'm putting him at an incomplete is because if you haven't heard, they've been talking about moving Darnell Wright out to the left and getting Ozzy Trapillo over there on the right, since he's more natural of a right tackle. Some people I've been reading in the Twitter sphere, and I'm not calling it that. I'm calling it Twitter. A lot of people have been talking about how he's kind of built like James Big Cat Williams. If you remember Big Cat from the late 90s, early 2000s, guy was not like Hall of Fame material, but he played at a high level, was productive, and was very important to our run there in 2001. When the Bears made the playoffs, we had a really good, high, potent running game with Anthony A. Train Thomas, James Allen. That was a fun team to watch, but he's got the same type of build as Big Cat. So a lot of people are talking about maybe moving him over there to be a day one starter, and then possibly moving Darnell over to the left, because he has played left tackle before. He played it for 3 seasons at Tennessee, and then played a full season at right his senior year. So, and then obviously has found success with the Bears since he's been in the league. But this is a perfect time to find out if you have something there. And if he can kick out and he can be successful and be able to protect Caleb's blind side, then do it. Do it because that's what we need to be successful. But I also wonder, all of us are writing off Braxton Jones. We've been talking about it. National media's talked about it. All the sports writers that I've come across are basically saying that Braxton Jones can't come back from his foot injury, and that he is way down the line and is, they're basically saying he can't start on this team. And we can't say that yet. He hasn't come back in. He has not taken any reps yet. He has not been a part of the install of this system. This is his time to show if he's able to recover. And early reports coming in say that he is recovering well and is on track to return this summer. So you don't know. What I do know is that we have some really solid depth at line. I'm not freaking out right now like I was last summer when our line was absolute hot garbage. Sorry to the guys that played on that line last year, but I think you would admit to it too. But I feel like we're in a much better place now. So there I am with my winners and my losers and my incomplete. Leave a comment below. Tell me who your winners and losers are. Let's get a good debate going here, because I mean, there's probably some other ones out there based on some of the undrafted free agents we picked up, and some of those other draft picks that we picked up over the weekend. So I think we need to move on. So one of the most polarizing picks from this year's draft, and we talked about it a little bit already this week, Ruben Hyppolite, and had all of us going, who is this guy being picked in the 4th round? People are like searching and searching and searching for something on this guy because he felt like he was pretty much non-existent in our minds and our eyes. But I had an opportunity, and I was thinking about this at work today, like, how can I judge a player without seeing his tape? I can't trash Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham and company for a pick that I don't know anything about. And I'll tell you what, look up Ruben Hyppolite's highlights there at Maryland. This guy is fast. He is a bullet. And he has sub 4.4 speed. And he can shoot in the and get to the quarterback fast, get to the running back. I can't. He is a TFL machine, and he's all over the field. He's aggressive, and his sideline to sideline speed is super impressive. So I feel like this guy is a perfect fit for this man cover, very aggressive blitzing defense that Dennis Allen is putting together. He's got the right build and he's powerful, but he's undersized. Something you're going to hear as a theme here in these next couple of segments here is talking about undersized linebackers. So I think that's why somebody like Hyppolite ended up falling in the draft or was considered to be at the back end of the draft because he was undersized. And that, some people find that to be a knock in the NFL. But I'll tell you what, I did my homework, people. I looked up undersized linebackers in the NFL. And when you have guys like Ray Lewis and Zach Thomas and London Fletcher, who played forever, Sam Mills, and you have Bobby Wagner. And Bobby's still cooking there. He was cooking in DC this past year. Like, if those guys can do it, Ruben freaking Hyppolite can do the same exact thing. And I believe the thing is that They are going to put him in a position, Dennis Allen and company are going to put him in a position where he's going to be able to thrive based off of his strengths. They're going to play to his strengths. And they already said that he's going to be all over the field and active during the season. So I am curious going into training camp and watching some of those preseason games, even though some of the stuff is vanilla, just being able to see some of the standard plays that should be made. I want to see how that's done. I want to see what he's doing with his technique. But the guy he's very aggressive and he fits that mold. And so I know I'm excited to see this. Hyppolite is excited to get going. He wants to prove his worth. He said that to the media when he said that he wanted to just come in and soak everything up and just learn from current players, learn from the coaches, and earn his keep. Using the phrase earn his keep, that's a guy that's ready to go to work. I'm excited to see where he's going to go. And not only him, but we have another linebacker on our hands. This was one we kind of talked a little bit about with undrafted free agents yesterday. We talked about Power Echols, linebacker out of North Carolina. So I'm very surprised that this guy did not get drafted in the later rounds. He should have. I think the biggest knock that I had seen and had read was that he has some technique issues. He tends to, when he's following or shadowing, covering a player, he has difficulty turning back and following the pass, which nowadays in this NFL, it almost becomes an automatic pass interference. So, being able to work on his footwork when he's covering players, just making sure that he's not making those mistakes that can cost you 15 yards or whatever, or have any holding penalties. But what I did see is that he's built solid. He's another undersized linebacker. He's just right around 6 foot. And guy weighs 225, so yeah, he's a little bit on the lighter side. But dude also, like Ruben Hyppolite, has amazing sideline to sideline speed and can also has a knack for getting to the quarterback as well. He only had 76 tackles this senior season for him, but the previous two he had well over 100 tackles. So he can tackle. He's very good at breaking up passes too. So even though he has this potential for drawing penalties, the guy also gets his hands on the ball. And that's even something talking about Al Harris and the cornerbacks, secondary. They always talk about if you're going to make plays or you're going to do anything in the secondary, you've got to get your hands on the ball. And if this guy's breaking up passes and he's recovering fumbles too, he's right there on the scene making that happen. So he's got really good intangibles. Coach him up, and you've got a special teams guy. You've got a guy that can come in and rotate. But one thing's for sure, they are looking to find a player that is going to be fast at that weak side position. Obviously, Jack Sanborn, loved having him on the team. Loved him. He played his ass off for us, and he was one of my favorite players to watch over the past few years. But I felt like he didn't have that kind of speed. And that's what they want to do differently. That, I believe, is the reason why he didn't resign in Chicago. But he's still going to be with Flus. He's going to be able to produce down in Dallas and do his thing there. So I wish him well on that. But you can definitely see here that the Bears are looking to make this an upgrade, and they want to turn this into a strength and get speed over there at that position. So Hyppolite, Power Echols, both have really super cool names. Hopefully they're going to be able this summer to back it up with their great play as well. So before we start wrapping it up for today, I do want to wish a happy belated birthday. Yesterday was Smokin' Jay Cutler's birthday, but it was also Tommie Harris's birthday. And also born the same year I was, so 42. So I got to watch him when he came out into the NFL about 2004, um, as a three technique, one of the best technique three technique players I got to see. Him, Warren Sapp, he was built like Warren Sapp and would explode just like Sapp would, which I can see why Lovie Smith would want him because Lovie had the fortune of being able to coach a guy like Warren Sapp. But just those Bear defenses there in 2004, 2005, 2006, especially '05 and '06, where the defense really started to take off. And obviously '06 being that big Super Bowl run, the defense was very key there. And it all starts right up at the front there with guys like Tommie Harris. And then eventually down the line, Henry Melton and so on and so forth. But Tommie's career was stellar in Chicago. He did have a season in LA with well, it was San Diego at the time, but with the Chargers. And then he called it a career. Yeah, he focused his time more on family, um, especially after losing his wife, unfortunately. Rest in peace. But when he was in the league, absolutely phenomenal and just an all around great human being. So happy birthday, Tommie. And folks, great talking with y'all. Great having you in. Remember, leave a like, subscribe, throw some comments down there in the chat, and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a great day, and as always, bear down.